Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakbadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Start off with the 144,000, which would be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven. You also have a lot of the elect here in America, which is you believers, which will be a large multitude, which will be men, women, and children that will be saved. 2/3 of all people here in America will be destroyed, right? Of you tribes, right, who the world willingly, ignorantly calls so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, Panamanians, Cubans. You all are the Israelites, contrary to what the world wants to believe, right, and what they want to accept. You also have the rebels that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be destroyed. You have the elect that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be saved of you Israelites as well. I'm your brother Yeremia, come back at y'all with a quick lesson. I'm basically, as y'all can see, speaking on this Iran and Israel situation, which Israel started it, right? Which this is a prophecy, right? Of basically the least of the flock, drawing them out. Alright, which I'll get that scripture. This is Jeremiah 50, verse 45. It says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon." Right? And his purposes that he hath proposed, Salakia, have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, and surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. You see that? And the least of the flock is the Israel, the small heads. Not the Israelites, two different things. The small heads over there in our land. The smallest of the Edomites, they're the least of the flock. Hence the name least. And, them being in this little conflict with Iran, them shooting missiles at Iran, or Iran shooting them back, this pulls in Babylon because, with them getting into it with Iran, Russia gets pulled into it, and then who backs up Israel? These small heads. United States, America. That's why they in it. That's why they're going to be pulled in it. And this is really this is like the scriptures say, this is for Esau's downfall. Right? That's why this article says Trump confirms that the U.S. has now officially engaged in direct conflict with Iran, which we know that the scriptures say. Let's go to Matthew, let's go get it, basics, right? This whole, we know America's going to get destroyed, but it ain't going to completely get destroyed or get nuked until prophecies kick off. This is Matthew 24, verse 6, it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled." So we're not supposed to be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? You see that? "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places." Right? All these are the beginning of sorrow. So you see, we're hearing the rumors. We're hearing of wars. We're seeing it. These things are happening. These are two different nations fighting against each other. Right? And you got America, Babylon being pulled into it. All of us could be pulled into it. That's going to cause World War III. Right? That's why it's ultimately Esau's downfall. Right? Because this is, like I said, Esau started his own war. He started his own demise. And he don't even know it. I can tell you why I think that, this small heads started messing with Iran, because Esau likes to fuck with people. That's what he does. They in the way of something, obviously. Esau just don't, there's a reason for the most part where he, just fucks with you, but he can do that just because, and, he's ruling right now, and he does it because that's in his spirit. He can't be at peace unless he, does something evil, man. This is why he's the only nation not promised no type of mercy. Like, all you nations gonna get it. All y'all going into captivity, but, this is, let me get this in Proverbs 4. But he's the only nation that's not promised no mercy. This is Proverbs 4, verse 16. It says, "For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause them to fall." You see that? Them small heads, man, they cannot sleep and rest and be comfortable unless they fucked with somebody. And they chose Iran. You know, they chose Iran. You know? So, you know, this also proves, you know, since there's war going on, you know, with them small heads, them issues, they not the real people as well. You see? They are not the people. Let me get that in Isaiah 2. Because if they was the real people, there would be no war going on on earth. There's always some type of war going on in that side of the world. Always. Like, it's been like that for I don't know how long. You know? This is Isaiah 2 in verse 3. I says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountains of the Lord. And nobody's doing it anyway. Nobody's trying to learn from you. Nobody's trying to be like you. Nobody's trying to follow in your footsteps. Nobody's trying to be like them small heads over there. Right? I'm ready to get it. Many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways. You see that? Nobody's doing that. Right? And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion should go forth the law. And we know they go against the scriptures. Right? In the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. You know? Right? It says, and he shall judge among the nations, right? And shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. And nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and neither shall they learn war anymore. So this is to come, right? Eventually, when the real Israelites, because they don't call themselves Israelites, they call themselves Israelis, which if you look up that word, it means citizen of that land. So they're not Israelites. They don't go back to the actual people of the book, the chosen people. That's us, right? And like I said, since these things this is not happening, those are not the people. You know, since there's war going on, right? It's as clear as day. If you want to, you know, go against what we said, then you don't have understanding, right? That's what it is. You know, the truth is out there. Everything, you know, makes sense if you read the scriptures, if you have understanding, right? And then you know, there's videos of them fleeing from their homeland. I thought you was the chosen. I thought the Lord was protecting you. You ain't gotta do that, man. You know, you ain't gotta do that and flee, right? There's a scripture in let me see if I can get it. Also, let me see. I think it's in this chapter. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. It also tells you that you know, like I said, when that time when the real people are in their land, they're not gonna fear. Let me see. Yeah, they in fear, you know. They in fear. Let me see. So lucky. Let me go to Jeremiah 31. See if it's in there. Let me see if it's in here. Let me see. I'm gonna find it, Salakia. Salakia on that. I know it's somewhere. I cannot find where it's at. Let me see if it's in Isaiah 60. Let me see. Yep, it's Isaiah 60. It don't say exactly what I just said, but it's basically talking about the same thing. This is Isaiah 60 and verse 18. So this is talking about, when we get into the kingdom. Violence shall be no more heard in thy land, or wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt be called thy Slakia, but thou shalt call thy wall salvation and thy gates praise. You see that? Violence should be no more be heard in that land. Right? And there's violence going all throughout that land, like I said. Violence going all throughout that land. Right? There's nothing good going on right now. They're not the people, man. And it's gonna get worse. It might calm down a little bit, but it's gonna get worse. Because like the scriptures say, prophecies have to take place, right? We in the end, right? They ain't gonna just start shooting missiles and that's gonna be it. No, we have to go through Jacob's trouble. Things have to happen. There's a process of things, because this ain't the first time that these countries have shot missiles and stuff. This ain't the first time, but this is the beginning, of what's to come, and it's going to lead to World War III or something way bigger, right? Hey, just be patient, Jake. We excited about these things, but probably still have to take place. So we're not gonna get beamed up out of here today or tomorrow. It's Habakkuk chapter 2, and verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." At the end of what? At the end of this man's kingdom. Meaning it's going to happen and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and it will not tarry. You see that? And things are not tarrying. Things are rapidly moving. Things are going. Right? And we expect prophecy to keep on moving. And as soon as that MOTB drop, hey, it's over, man. It's over for this man. But I'm going to close out, Hope this video was edifying to the Lord's elect, the Lord's sheep, man. Hey, keep watching, man. Keep your head on the swivel. Keep, paying attention to what's going on. The Lord's moving, and He's putting His spirit upon E to go against one another to cause War 3 to happen. Right? The Lord's in control of all of this. So we happy that these things are happening so we can get into the kingdom. We gotta go through Jacob's trouble. With the MOTB has to be made mandatory. So like I said, we're not getting out of here tomorrow. Those things have not happened yet. But this is a sign that the Lord is coming back very, 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 very soon. Right? So, hey, stay in the spirit. Keep the faith. Pray more than ever. I'm talking to myself first and foremost. Well, I'm up out of here. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. The next time I want to say, Abba, Shalom.